Welcome. In this video, I want to show us how we can rename all the converted JPG questions into the required or identified names by the CBT software. So in the last video, we converted the Microsoft Word questions into JPG questions. So we had 30 questions in the Microsoft Word, and then once it was converted, we had 30 image files, that JPG files, in this name format. These names are not going to be identified by the software because it needs to know if it is coming from civic education, what particular term is it coming from, and then other information, because all questions cannot carry the same number. Which one will belong to which one? Like this is number 15, actually that is fine, but which subject owns this question is important, and that is why we need to rename this JPEG question, JPEG files into the appropriate names. All right, so to start with, I can close all these because I'm still working in the Word to JPG format. You have to open up the Sky High utility app. So once you on the Sky utility app, there are 4 steps to carry out here. The first one is to select a folder. Next one is to select the term, then you input the subject code, and then you click the name as appropriate. Okay, let me start with the step 1. So select a folder. So in your computer, I'm working with, under desktop, I'm working with the Word to JPG. All right, so I click that, I open it. So what's the folder I want to pick, because it is selecting a folder. I want to rename all the questions in civic education SS1 Heart, that folder. So the folder I am selecting is this, so you select that folder. If I want to do basic tech, for instance, I select that folder, but now I'm working with civic education. That is where the question I converted was into JPG, and now that I want to rename those JPG files, I pick this, all right, and then I click open. So automatically the 30 questions inside that folder comes up. So I have already 30 questions. These are the names of the files. Step 2 is to select the term I'm working with. There are other things to select here. So if you are working in second term or third term as appropriate, or entrance examination, or for mock, other ones will be picked here. So I'm working with first term, that is fine. Then this is for subject code. You will notice that in your templates there are subjects and there are subject codes in front of them. So the 3 subject codes is very important, and that is what the software needs. It doesn't need the entire name, which is civic education, mathematics, chemistry. It needs 3 letter codes. So you have to give all your subjects, let them have a code that in case you are trying to rename it, it will be easier for the software to identify which one is coming from which one. So all of the subjects you have, all subjects must have 3 letter codes identified. So English is ENG. In my own case, you can make it whatever letter you want to, but it must be 3 letter codes. So in the template, I am using civic education as CVE. Okay, let me use uppercase CVE. That's what I'm using. So you must be sure that these 2 are well in place, because if you put second term and then your template is showing second term, it's showing first term, then the software will not load the question. It will be telling you that questions are not available. So you are working with first term, so that's why you need to select first term. These are the questions you are working with. Then what subjects are you converting? You are converting civic education, and the 3 code for the civic education must be entered here before you rename the first at all. For instance, in the template, I've been using mathematics as MTH. I've been using economics as ECN. I'm using English as ENG. So you can define as appropriate the one you want it to be. So try to use the one that's easier to identify. So civic education is easy for me to know as CVE. In another case, it might be your own case, but it must be 3 letter codes. Then lastly, you click rename files, and now the files will be renamed automatically. This is the old file names, these are the old file names. Now these are the new file names that the software needs to identify. All right, so everything has been named already. This is the remark. So now you can close this Sky Utility app, which is the file renamer. And so now let's check into the folder what we just renamed. So we converted from civic education into JPG file. That's from the Word to JPG file, and the numbers we have here were 001, 002, 003. So the file renamer has automatically given it a name that will be identified by the software. This is the first question, number 1. This is number 26th question, and like that. This is number 12 question, and then the CVE, the software knows is civic education already, and then dash 1ST, that is first. It can be uppercase or lowercase. That one is not case sensitive. So the meaning is question number 15 underscore civic education dash first term. So instead of doing this manually to name it like in this format, 18 underscore CVE dash first 1ST, the software does this automatically. Okay, so once this is ready for civic education SS1, you just control all of this, you copy all of them. So control A, hold the control key and press A on your keyboard. You select all of this, and then you can copy it by pressing the control key and C as well, control C. So we are taking all this question into the location that is required by the software. I was working with Sky CBT the other time, and under questions I just converted SS1 civic education. So you open that and then go to civic education CVE. These were the folders that the software created automatically the other time when we loaded the template. So under the CVE, you just drop it inside. So if you have more questions and more questions and more questions and more questions, everything comes in here. You can put in the second term question inside, third term question inside, all your questions. If you have 1,000 questions per term, which is the capacity of the question bank each, you can put all the questions here. But the difference is that you have some of them, you have some in first 1ST, you have others in second, and the other one also in third. So the software knows which one to pick, that okay, I'm picking from first term, I'm picking from second term. So that's what you do. The same is applicable for other subjects. They are empty actually. So once you are done converting them, you just drop them inside this folder, and then you are good to go to allowing the candidates to come up with the software. I mean, you can open up the software and allow the candidates to come up and then practice. So remember that you have just put the question inside the folder for the civic education under SS1 art. Okay, you can put it under SS1 commercial as well, since they will do civic education, or they might be doing civic education, and then you do the same thing. It was copied for SS1 science, and put it inside there also as appropriate. All right, and that is fine like that. So the answers will have been entered in the template already, and then you can do other formatting that you would like to do, like the candidate's picture. You'll have input that already. So once you've done the answers in the template, ensure that you uploaded them into the software, so that when the candidates are doing the exam, it would be easy to tally. And then, because if you don't have answers there, they will score 0. So you put the questions in the appropriate folder, that's fine. The answers, put in the template and upload it to the software, and then you are good to go. Thank you.